legends. They are the conquerors of our world, achieving feats larger than life, and leaving us motivating peers to excel in all our chosen paths like they did before us. People in History, your 1-hour detailed documentary on the life and times of great heroes and heroines.
The Bible says that pleasure in sin
Airbnb, who later became the peach.
Dr. Alexi is outstandingly brilliant. She's very patriotic and very loyal.
Comes your way every Mondays, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. You can listen to any past episode of People in History just by logging on to our website, www.planet101fm.ng, and click on our podcast to listen to the past episodes. People in History, exclusive to Planet 101.1 FM. Attention please. This is a boarding call for all intending passengers on Air Flight 101.1, departing for Planet FM. Flight time is Thursday, 4 p.m. Please proceed to check-in.
To come on board this flight, tune in to Planet 101.1 FM every Thursday at 4 p.m. to be a part of the program Touchdown Thursday with Udom Air. This half-hour program is highly interactive and informative, with phone-in sessions and live stream on our social media pages. Fun trivia games with loads of exciting prizes to be won. Touchdown Thursday with Udom Air is a public enlightenment program designed to curb misinformation about Udom Air's modus operandi and receive customers' feedback. This program is in partnership with Tap Media Group. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. Cabin crew, you may now commence your in-flight duties.
You fit to buy your phone today and you go pay later. iPhone today, both new ones and not use the ones. Samsung phone today, Tecno, Itel, Oppo, Infinix, Redmi, Nokia, and other latest phones and accessories, music box, laptop, liquid screen guard, photo protect your phone from breakage. Then they repair phones, so both software and hardware with the home delivery services within Uyo, Divine Ugo Communication. For anything we concern phones and accessories, you must have join to confirm Divine Ugo Communication. Them day for number 1 Ikote Mini Road, opposite Ibom Plaza, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, or make you call 080-680-93884 or 090-923-12971. Our shop they open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. from Monday go reach Saturday.
This is the People's Parliament, and of course we had to go on a first recess, but coming back to the floor of the House, still 4 motions on the floor. We're celebrating the men and women of the Nigerian Armed Forces, Akwa Ibom State, and on the heels of that, Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel has called on government at various levels and corporate organizations to put measures in place to assist families of the fallen heroes. On the heels of that, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabor, has declared that democracy has come to stay in Nigeria, pledging the military's readiness to give the necessary support to the Nigerian police and other internal security agencies to ensure crisis-free general elections in the coming year, and that is this year, 2023. Now, let me come to you, parliamentarian Thorofon Morgan. I recall that about 2 weeks ago, Nigerians woke up to the scenario where the army had said, You know, there are different challenges, and of course, INEC came out to say if the insecurity persisted, we might not have elections in some parts of the country, and that generated a lot of reactions from Nigerians. And of course, we've had series of events and incidents where INEC offices across the the federation have been attacked by criminal elements, sometimes burned down, and of course, election materials damaged and destroyed in the process. How do you feel this statement sits with Nigerians? As a Nigerian, how would you receive the promise of the Nigerian military chief saying that they are going to join and partner with not just the Nigerian police, but other internal security agencies to ensure crisis-free 2023 general elections?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I recall, just like you said, the chairman of the Board of Trustees for Training of INEC staff, one Professor Zuru, had said that during an interactive section in the House of Assembly, House of Representatives, he has said that if the insecurity persists, that election might be postponed. He said election might be affected. The Speaker, with these assurances from the CDS, the Chief Defense Staff, I think it has gone a long way to improve on the minds of the people that, just like the President said, that he's committed to a free and fair election. And now the Chief of Defense is now saying, don't be scared, there's no takeover, no coup, we're not planning anything. So it has shown that Akwa Ibom people and Nigerians should be ready for the next general election. And you should also notice that the attacks that we are having on INEC office, mainly in the east, especially the easternmost states. So what we should also be telling the Chief Defense Staff is that the army have to work with the intelligence of the police to reduce these attacks, because if it continues, especially in the east, it's going to affect the number of votes that they are going to come out from that area, and it's also going to affect the people that should be elected there, because it could cause voters apathy, where a lot of people are afraid of coming out to vote. So the CDS has to work with the police so that they can secure INEC offices, because I know that if people see an army truck somewhere and see a police truck somewhere, it will send some kind of a fear, so that they can give people the confidence to come out and vote. And ahead of the election, we should also see a situation where we demilitarize the election, because I recall that apart from 2019, the other election, we saw army that were very, very active in the election. Recall that in Akwa Ibom, second term of Governor Udom Emmanuel, we had a report where army jets were flying all over Akwa Ibom. So those kind of issues should not come up, so it doesn't cause voter apathy. But at the last time, we must say, tell the man, thank you for coming out to say that there will be no coup, there will be no takeover, and coming to say that democracy will be sustained. And that is good. And we must also encourage him to do that. How do we encourage him? We must also work by getting our PVC ready to vote for the next government, not making some statement that can cause insecurity, because there are some things that people say that causes a lot of problem. So that is my point.
All right, thank you very much. Coming to you, House Leader, to help us with some of the comments we already have on our Facebook page. Meanwhile, you can join the conversation on the number 0902-223-1011 or 0817-624-8565. Listen online at www.planet101fm.ng. Over to you, House Leader.
Yeah, so let's go to our Facebook page where we're sure lots of comments are coming in with regards to the conversation we are having this morning. And let's quickly start off with this. It's coming from Parliamentarian Idoreyin Raphael. He says, good morning, Mr. Speaker, the House Leader Raymond, with telephone, and other parliamentarians. Please, in the same vein, we equally plead with the governor to help us settle retirees, for them to get the strength to support the families of our fallen heroes. Also, Bishop David Oyedepo has made a point to note, but how can we indicate who will fail us again? Because all our faces look real, like good people, just like the current leaders. All right, please, I think we should be careful when choosing who will lead us again. Thank you for having me. Thank you for joining us as well. Parliamentarian Udemega Ebu says... Udeme Emega Ebu, it says, Mr. Speaker and House Leader, when an appointee of government fails in his responsibility, It's incumbent on the governor to relieve the person of that responsibility. The essay to the governor on trade matters has failed the people, and if the government continues to be adamant, it means the government has failed. On Bishop Oyedepo, the problem of Nigeria is not the party, but the people in leadership positions. So, as 2023 election draws near, let's get our PVC and do the needful. Interesting. Bro John says the armed forces will come and go, but what matters most is the welfare of their families who have lost their breadwinners while in service to the nation. And they need the federal government to embrace technological advancements for our armed forces in curbing crimes and preventing ambushing from non-state actors. The essay on trade and market matters does not have any iota of thinking outside the box in tackling inflation ravaging Akwa Ibom state, because most of these so-called unions are just monuments folding their arms by refusing to fix price structures to be complied with. It's unfortunate. And it says the Chief of Defense Staff should learn to embrace technological advancement to guide the armed forces from ambushing by non-state actors. Surprisingly, and the welfare of Nigerian police force and the armed forces is key to nation building. I think we all agree on that.
Definitely all agree on that. I think this morning, just going through the different headlines, one of the conversations currently making the round is the fact that in Senate claims we have better welfare packages, we have better pension system, we have better care given to the families of fallen heroes and the veterans. But in Nigeria, sometimes we still see these veterans carrying placards and protesting non-payment of their entitlement and emolument, a situation that many have said is even responsible for the lackadaisical attitude of some armed forces personnel, where they know that, this balance that this is government's work, is not your family work, and when you die, there's nobody's going to provide for your family. And of course, it takes a mind back to some of the practices that also has had been kicked out in other climes where I think it was one of the foreign leaders who recruited men who were not married into the military because they do not have things to take care about or worries to, keep them from going to the war front. I think it was King Augustine or so. But then, coming back to Nigeria, coming back to Akwa Ibom State, what measures, coming back to you, Parliamentarian Utrofon, what measures do you think needs to be put in place? Let's consider right now, in Nigeria, we have over 24 different states who have passed very humongous pension allowances for former sitting governors, deputy governors, their families, and former house speakers, and all of those. But then, those people who have significantly sacrificed for the Nigerian society are still left, and they still have to fight. What measures would you say should be put in place or can be put in place to further encourage people to even go into the military forces, and also to encourage the families of those who have lost their loved ones and breadwinners who were heroes of this land?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, recall that a lot of times we're in this studio, people call and talk about primary school teachers that have not been paid their gratuities. Mr. Speaker, we all know that a teacher is the bedrock of where we are today. Everybody was taught by a teacher. So if government, at every time, at federal government and states, and even local government, they don't value teachers, how about those that secure them? So, Mr. Speaker, that means that a governor or a president has army people that are around him, and he has secured his future, having maybe 2-3 houses in Abuja and Lagos. Cars will be changed every year, will be paid 50% of the salary and pension. Mr. Speaker, in these states also, you see when councillors, former councillors, are being paid. Former councillors that were making huge sum of money as salary will be paid severance, but primary school teachers may not be paid on time until almost after many years. So, Mr. Speaker, it shows how we value people. It also shows that we don't have strong institutions. You have a pension board that should be keeping deductions from civil servants and all this paramilitary. Mr. Speaker, you now appoint a politician to head that board, and that person will steal that money. A permanent secretary that was in charge stole the money. a chairman board, they will steal the money, pension money, someone's sweat. So, Mr. Speaker, I think we have a situation where we don't have strong institutions. I'm sure other countries don't have this kind of institutions. We must have strong institutions that can be independent. When this contribution comes, they keep and get government parts that will be used to pay gratuities and pensions of these people. Mr. Speaker, some of these army and paramilitary, they die in service, and their wives and family become stranded. They now go back to the village. So, Mr. Speaker, what I want to say is that governments have to make some legislations that will make these pension boards to be strong so that they can be independent. For example, things that bother the government, you see that they will do it immediately. Recall that there was a time jet fuel was very expensive and government said they were going, the operators said they were going on strike. That evening, government has solved that problem. Although it resulted in hiking in air prices. So, Mr. Speaker, if government is serious, just like they celebrate every January, they celebrate Armed Forces Day, that is what they should do. Then, Mr. Speaker, we are now looking at someone that has been making millions. You get security votes over 2 billion every month, and you still have the mind to impoverish a state. And majority of these states that these governors have made these laws, they don't even have a good revenue, apart from going to Abuja to get allocation. Some of them are owing civil servants. Some of them are owing, for example, like Kogi State, you'll be seeing the news, they are owing 12 months. They have not paid gratuity, they have not paid pensions. So, but these states, they have bogus severance packages for their governors and deputy governors. So, Mr. Speaker, it shows that these politicians are after themselves and their family. So they have to, legislatures, if we have a situation where we have the independence of the House of Assembly, they should repair all those laws and give them the normal pension, or maybe based on their salary that they were having, not something that is very bogus. A house in Abuja, a house in Lagos, change a cars every two years and all that.
Medical trips and
medical trips in abroad and Nigeria.
Nigerians and all of those things. Well, very well said, Parliamentary Throfon Morgan. You can also join the conversation, and the number is 0902-223-1011 or 0817-624-8565. Let us know your thoughts on the different motions that are on the floor of the House. And not forgetting, this is the 11th plenary session live on radio. And then we are welcoming the first parliamentarian through the phone line this morning. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Hello, are you with me?
Yes, good morning. Go ahead.
I'm calling from you. I want to speak on the inflation in our Akwa State. I want to say, even in our community, I see when we pay attention to housing, they pay attention to housing. They forget about the other. I mean, green land is the best. Conservation is the best. Crops. Government are not paying attention to crops again. They are not trying to plant again. They are not even advising people to plant again. Yes, I mean, and then the thing that people will have to eat. Not the nation is saying, it's a market that is the million. You may not understand. They did not study agriculture. So Udom Emmanuel will not understand what is the state. What is at stake? What is the cause of food inflation? It will not. It is somebody. We are not crying. Tell the people they do it. Thank you.
All right, thank you for joining us. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
I'm Congress Professor. I'm calling to I think the one problem we're having with the pensioners, the teachers, who retired, is that the state government does not regard us as anything. Because I can remember in one of the speeches by the state governor that called us retirees as unproductive. It was a very bad statement. I can remember today that I returned from Togo. I used to ride on a Tesla from Calabar every Monday. From Calabar to set up my office where I was working. If on Friday, I would go to that on a Tesla, go back to I went back to Calabar. It's just those people that retire and you call them unproductive. And now they are making law. The House of Assembly are making law that support them when they retire. Say you are unproductive. When you retire from office, the House of Assembly, the governors, are they not unproductive also? So they don't care for us. That is the reason. And it's only because I would judge them. Thank you.
All right, I'd like to caution parliamentarians once again, almost couldn't reach that and put it out on time. Please, let's be very much guided of the language that we use. Yes, it's very okay to constructively criticize. It's very okay to hold government accountable, but there are certain languages that are not welcome on air, and such is a foul language like the one of saying God will judge. There is no allowing such languages on air. So please, parliamentarians, be properly guided. And the parliamentarian who made that comment, please, I'd like for you to apologize when next you join the floor of the House. That being stated, let me come back to you, House Leader, for some more comments on the floor of the House this morning.
Yes, let's get back to more reactions from parliamentarians who are gradually joining in on our Facebook page. Don't forget you can follow us on Planet Radio 101.1 FM Uyo. And, okay, let's quickly get this one. It says, I want to comment on the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabor, saying that democracy has come to stay in Nigeria. If I may ask, what positive impact does the people enjoy to prove that we are in a democratic government? When lives and properties of the people are not protected, the welfare of the people have been deprived by our rulers who call themselves leaders, no good infrastructural development, high rate of unemployment, economic instability. With these, Mr. Speaker, can we proudly say we are in a democratic government? This is coming from parliamentarian Etini Silas. Interesting questions, put forward there. We'll see if we can make attempts to respond in due time. Let's move on. Okay, I think we've attended to this already. I totally agree with Bishop Oyedepo that this administration has failed. This is one administration that promised to fight corruption and insecurity. Instead, every day we receive news of Catholic priests being killed and churches burned down with members. We've also witnessed looting of public treasury and the decay in the educational sector. Next month's election presents another opportunity for we Nigerians to vote for an individual with capacity and not political party. We cannot continue like this. The status quo must change this time around. Henry Owa.
All right, let's get to hear more from parliamentarians before we come back to the floor of the House. And yes, some more calls coming on the phone lines. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary. Hello, good morning. Lost connection there. Please forgive us. I hope the networks are not trying us this morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, I'm sure you have to let parliamentarians go. Probably having some challenges with the network reception there. But let me come back to you, Parliamentarian Utterford Morgan. One other motion that we have on the floor of the House this morning, let's touch on it before we head out to second recess. Now, Bishop Oyedepo of Living Faith Churches urged Nigerians to learn from the past. And he has said that the present administration of the All Progressive Congress, led by President Muhammadu Buhari, has failed Nigerians. He described the promises the APC made to the Nigerian people as a balloon promise that has failed. Your reactions?
Mr. Speaker, we all know that this was not how we were 7 years ago. Mr. Speaker, if we want to look at all the indices, the economic indices, the social standard of living, Mr. Speaker, this government has failed. When you want to look at the promises they made, Mr. Speaker, the government has failed. Mr. Speaker, this December is the worst December. I could not afford a bag of rice because it's almost like a wage, salary bill. Mr. Speaker, recall that before Goodluck Jonathan left, PMS petrol was 87 naira. Mr. Speaker, today we are buying at 300, and some people will say 400 and 500, but we in Akwa Ibom, we are buying at 300. Only rare before you see 295. You can't even try to go on a queue to buy at mega station. Mr. Speaker, before now, 8 years from now, we all know how we used to buy Indomie. We used to buy small even a shaving. In this country now, the level of oil theft is alarming. Mr. Speaker, we cannot even keep up to the OPEC quota. Mr. Speaker, we are not doing better than today. Mr. Speaker, insecurity now, before we just had Boko Haram at a very one area. Mr. Speaker, now we have a new creation called bandits. They are everywhere. In Imo State, they are there. In Edo State, they are coming down. So, Mr. Speaker, we have not done better. Maybe the only place that we have done better is where God is just guiding us, helping us. God has really been looking out for us. So, Mr. Speaker, this government has failed. As we come up the next month that we are going for a next general election, our people should look out for the government that's a person that they feel can be a better man or a better woman. Mr. Speaker, recall that, I don't know if you have seen the video where a man of God was preaching. He now said that he wants to make a prayer that the person that you are going to vote should be, that person should come out to be like your child, your son, your next generation. That person should be someone that is there. And he now said that person should also be the business, someone you can give your business to manage. So, Mr. Speaker, this government has failed. I don't know what they are campaigning. They should be apologizing to Nigerians. So I want to agree with our spiritual father, what he said. So Nigerians, Akwa Ibom people, shine your eyes, dust your PVC. This election that we are going, we don't need thuggery. If you go now where people are campaigning, they'll tell you, thugs, I hope you have your PVC, because that thing that we used to do those years is not important again. There's no need of carrying anything to run. So Akwa Ibom people, Nigerians, get your PVC. Investigate, look at the people that you are going to vote. They must have credibility, not people that will be packaged. You know that this person is not doing well. You package, someone will come and stay for 6-7 months without having an economic team or ministers, and people are clapping. And today they will come out and be saying things. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that the government has failed, but we thank God that God has survived us in this country.
All right, we're going to take a pause here and head out for our second recess. When we come back, the House leaders will lead us back to the floor of the House. Please stay with us.
Papa say me. Papa, are you meaning to you have to do away back? Papa, it's already Papa,
so for Tough Media Group, Monsignor Planet Radio 101.1 FM, my Spectrum TV, ASU Fan Radio.
Papa, I'm always in my mom. So you see this I am.
Uja says your town show 102.7 FM, the town show 102.7 FM. Okay, Npo, and I'm Kiko Edward, Moncontipe, Nemebora, Mbripa, being a Mekwa, okay, Npo, I Kiko Edward.
Oh, Papa, how does it hear radio? Yabi, my dem. I'm leaving memo.
Oh, Akwa Ibom. I need to pump city and Tomoka. Swadi, Ebony them. So 102.7 FM. Okay, down.
Doctor, Mr. Isaac's current predicament has nothing to do with the food he ate at Iyabasira's Buka.
No, it doesn't, barrister. The test shows that his reactions are caused by some food allergies he isn't aware of. Some people here ate that food, but they don't have any pains or running stomach.
Yes. The food sweet, so I chop extra. Isn't this similar to taking the COVID-19 vaccine?
Exactly. Reactions after getting the COVID-19 vaccine can vary from person to person. The reactions are usually mild and would clear after 1 or 2 days. Most people have no reactions at all, so there isn't anything wrong with the vaccine. It's just how your body reacts to it.
What is it going to be? Would you avoid taking the vaccine because of the reactions? Or would you do it for love? Protect yourself, family, friends, and community from COVID-19. Get vaccinated sharply.
Do it for love.
Do it for love.
Do it for love.
Before, when I call my guy, before I talk, my man, how far? I go here.
You have less than 1 minute for your call.
Auto waiting, but with Airtel double, now steady relating. My guy, how area, how everything.
Stay connected for longer with the Airtel Double plan that gives you 70 minutes talk time plus 3 gigabytes data for just 1,000 naira. Dial *141#. Select my area now. Airtel, the smartphone network.
The People's Parliament is brought to you courtesy of JIA Outdoor Services. JIA Outdoor Services, a member of the Mbarukas Group, owns and manages billboards and advertising services in and outside Akwa Ibom State. Why not visit them today or call this number 0803-741-2340. JIA Outdoor Services, a member of the Mbarukas Group.
You're still with us, and you're just joining us. You're listening to the People's Parliament. It's the biggest people-oriented parliament on radio, where we are discussing issues as they affect us as a state and as a country as well. And on the floor of the House today, we've been looking at issues concerning the fallen heroes and those who have put down their lives for the safety of Nigerians, referring to our legionnaires who were celebrated all over the country yesterday. During the Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration, where the Akwa Ibom State Governor, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, called for more measures to assist families of these fallen heroes and those who, of course, are still serving the nation in that capacity. And also, Chief of Defense Staff Lucky Irabor reassuring Nigerians that the military has no intention of leaving the barracks, and has said democracy has come to stay in Nigeria. How critical is the statement going into what is largely anticipated to be one of the most important elections in the annals of the nation's history come February 25 and March 11 this year? And also the much revered Bishop David Oyedepo says Nigerians should learn from the past after claiming President Muhammadu Buhari's administration has actually failed Nigerians. With the president's time, of course, coming calling it quits come May 2023. A lot of questions have been going around as to whether or not President Buhari has lived up to expectations made since 2014 at the height of the campaigning of the then formed All Progressives Congress APC. Only just yesterday, the presidential candidate of the party, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, said the APC was formed in 2014 not just to be another political party, but to correct the ills and the mistakes of the People's Democratic Party. Well, it's been 7.5 years or so. How far and how well have the APC fared in that time? We're hoping to get reactions from you on plenary today. Let's get your reactions to these issues. Mr. Speaker.
All right, still on the issue, in case you just joined us, don't forget you can connect us on 0902-223-1011 or 0817-624-8565. Now, let's talk more on the part the Nigerians must play if we are to elect, if we are to ensure that we choose people who have the interests of the general public at heart in this general election coming up on the 25th of February 2023. What do you think is the part that you as the electorate, as a parliament, as Nigerian, must play? Let's get to hear more on our phone lines this morning. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Good morning once again.
Welcome.
I want to reply on the issue of presidential candidate Muhammadu APC was formed in 2014. to correct the way of the APC. I don't know what's any difference between PDP and APC. Thinking that those that will be cheated in PDP and just came out to form a party that will suit them. If we want to compare 2014 and 2023 as a now, I think it's worse than what anybody can say. So there's no difference between PDP and APC. There's no difference. I'm thinking that we should not talk of party, we should talk of people that would make the difference. And in my own opinion, that would have stated the North, the outside, and the Yorubas. It's now left for the South. I mean, the South we have stated in the person of former President Jonathan. Now we want to see what the Southeast can do. I think there's any area that we are not taking. So they should not talk about the APC that they are making us to go in trench and angry and so hardship that we even in the terms of war. Thank you.
All right, thank you for joining us this morning. The parliamentarian believes the APC has also failed, in the words of Bishop Oyedepo. But I was coming back to you, Parliamentarian Uthorofon Morgan. Yes, a lot of persons have said the APC had failed, but we cannot take away the fact that the APC government had also made some significant improvement in some other sections of the Nigerian economy, some other sectors of the Nigerian, in terms of leadership. Yes, they failed in some quarters. They've also made advancement in some quarters. But one thing that we have to face right now is the fact that Nigerians over time, if you ask the question, who are the ones campaigning for leaders whom the Nigerian society have tagged as having failed us? They're still Nigerians. So, in a situation where we have Nigerians still canvassing for support for people whom some Nigerians or most part of Nigerians have said or have tagged as failed leaders, what is the way forward for the average Nigerian? Is there a possibility of us electing a different crop of politicians with this kind of mindset?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you said that the government has improved in some ways. Yes, I agree with you. One of the ways they have improved is that recall that when Goodluck Jonathan was the president and he lost the election, he accepted defeat, and that has also been a bedrock of improvements in our democracy. We must also thank the government of General Muhammadu Buhari, because he has not really been someone that is interested in the election process. When I mean interfering in the election process. That we must give to him. Because if he was, I'm sure we know what happened when Obasanjo was there. So, Mr. Speaker, that he has done, and with the commitment he has said that the military and INEC should work towards giving a free and fair election, and the improvements in the electoral process that we can give to him. Then, Mr. Speaker, when we also look at the economy, I can't really see where we have improvements in the economy, because our GDP keeps going down, inflation rate keeps going up, interest rates on the high. Then, but one part that we must notice is that we have one or two projects, the rail projects and others. But Mr. Speaker, those projects are not done with his creativity. His loan, that means it's something that we and our generation and our children will pay off. So it's not really something that we should clap hands for, but it's okay. Then, Mr. Speaker, just like you said, this government, people are still campaigning for a government or leaders that seem to have failed. Is a very sad tale. Recall that one time that we were here, we talked about those that came out to campaign for 2 million march in Akwa Ibom for Peter Obi. And we also said that it's almost the same people that also came out when Atiku also came to flag off his campaign. So it's like it's an industry where we have people that are positioned to mobilize people for any campaign. So when they now want, for example, if I want to contest now, I'll come and meet you. Bros, can you arrange your people to come out and help me? So I think that is a situation where you have people that are having this job at this time then you move from there. They call people that are really campaigning and people that have a stake in this business. They don't care if the government will favor them or not. They don't care what happens. They just know that they have someone that is working there. For example, if in Planet FM now, you are told to vote for someone, your boss is there, you vote for your boss. You don't even look at any other thing because you are comfortable there. So that's the situation. Someone has been an SA and a PA, and that PA has someone that is also a PA to a PA. Those people will campaign so that they will remain in government forever.
At the detriment of others.
Yes, not minding if the government is working. As far as you pick that peanuts, they don't care if that government is going to provide the dividends of democracy. No, that's not the problem. The problem is that they care that they get something at the end of the month out of it. So, Mr. Speaker, it calls for reorientation of our people. Now we have to start thinking of the general cause of the people, not a personal cause. So,
all right. Okay. Thank you very much. We'll get to more from parliamentarians. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Good morning, Speaker. Good morning, House leaders.
God bless you, parliamentarian. Could you please speak up a little bit?
Yeah, well, the problem in Nigeria still remains because since the ruling party now, the federal level, you know that they don't want to come out together. Like I mentioned last week, just unceremoniously popping into this area. I saw what was going on there. You know, that everything the very sad thing that Nigerians should be afflicted as many Nigerians are afflicted, and it's very sad that people who be in government, they know that they are not performing well. They are creating more problems, they are multiplying the problems in the people who still want to continue. God will not, the God I serve, the one who owns heaven on earth, who said the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof, will not allow any wicked, whether in the place of worship, because many are now carrying toga, carrying titles. To continue this way, by the grace of God, the will of God only will happen in Akwa Ibom, will happen in Nigeria. I want to pause here. Please let us hold on and then keep on what God brought for us. Dakada is not politics. It's for us to be transformed from where we were and then come to back to our creator and then claim what belongs to us. And I'm going to claim it. I don't care what the devil is doing or the agent, wherever they are.
All right,
the
Rapper,
will of
please.
God must be done in Akwa. The will of God must be done in Nigeria. The will of God must be done in Nigeria. God bless you. This acting in Udom. Bless you.
Many thanks to you and God bless you too. The will of God must be done, but for the will of God to be done, the people also have a responsibility to play. Back to you, House Leader, before we excuse you for your other responsibility. Take us through a few more comments that we have on our Facebook page and then give us your word of advice before you leave.
Yes, let's go to our Facebook page for more comments from parliamentarians. Mayana Basiandam says, good morning, Mr. Speaker. My bishop urged Nigerians is from a pure, I think it's referring to Bishop David Oyedepo's statements, it's from a pure and sincere art. Seriously, this current administration has failed us in all ramifications, and it's high time we vote them out come next month. And this one says, good morning, parliamentarians. Mark my words, after today, you won't hear about anything concerning the family of our fallen heroes again. That's the kind of country we find ourselves. About gratuity of retired primary school teachers in Akwa Ibom, I wouldn't say anything again, but let's remember these people work for their money. Nyekan Innocent texting or joining us from an interesting comment indeed. And let's see if we can chip in one more. And this one says, I totally agree with Bishop Oyedepo. This administration has failed. This is one administration that promised to fight corruption and insecurity. Instead, every day we receive news. Okay, I think we've already touched on that one. So, well, interesting comments there coming in from Akwa Ibomite and Nigerians. But as a parliamentarian to the phone said, the election is around the corner. It's an opportunity for us to effect the changes that we want. It's not just to clamor for the changes. We equally have an opportunity and a role to play in effecting those changes. And that means electing leaders that we think and we know would do right by us. I saw that particular video you referred to, and I found it very funny because the responses from the members of the church was equally laughable. It was hilarious because you could tell a lot of them, it was playing on their minds, clearly, because they knew they were in the house of God, in quotes, and you know what it means when you say something on the contrary, and then your mind, is tilted towards another thing. And I think that will play on their minds as well when they get out on election day to vote. So whoever you cast a ballot for the next 4 years or 8 years, in the event that that person gets to go again, you are responsible, for whatever happens in the aftermath of the poll. So I see a lot of people complaining today that the APC has failed. And, I took my mind back to 2014 and 2015. After the election that brought in President Buhari, Nigerians seem to be celebrating. We all had change, APC change and all of that. That means people were comfortable with moving out the PDP. Today we're seeing a completely different ball game. So let people own up, to the mistakes, so to say, that they've made, because we voted in this administration. If we want things to change, there are a lot of people clamoring to become president. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but of course, what is right, and what leaders can do right by you as well. Let's dust our PVCs and get in the right leaders that we want, Mr. Speaker.
All right, thank you very much, House Leader, for taking us through that and, of course, staying with us. We excuse you on behalf of parliamentarians to your other responsibility this morning. Let's take more calls from parliamentarians. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Hello, Mr. Speaker. Good morning.
Good morning, parliamentarian.
Good morning, my brother in the studio. My name is Lamboy, calling from Oyo.
All right, go ahead.
But, Mr. Speaker, what I want to say is that we are having about, next month for presidential election and next month for governorship election. It's not about shouting, it's not about talking. It's about our business and vote. So that why I'm saying like that is that all of us should prepare to vote whoever we want. So that at the end of the day, we can only say, Mr. Speaker, you see, we vote very well, and that is how we are enjoying. I don't know where you get my point. It's not something I will call again on the radio and begin to blame the person, either governor or the president or House of Assembly or House of Reps, that they are not working, which is they are the one that put them inside. So we should it's not about calling. We should prepare, go to our while polling units, collected our PPC, hold it on hand. When it is that day, we go on and vote who we like, so that that person can be able to know that people send him to that place and he's going to represent people, not his own house and his family. Thank you very much.
All right, many thanks for joining us and talking about the collection of PVC as a way of reminding all of us that collection of PVC is still currently ongoing at the respective ward level. So please go to your ward and ensure that you get your PVC. And if there are other issues or any issues, please channel them through the appropriate authorities. Not forgetting that INEC officials are expected to report at the designated wards from 9 a.m. and they will close at 3 p.m. So please ensure to be there on time and ensure to be peaceful and conduct yourself in line with right thinking and right ways of behaving in the society while collecting your PVC. Also, very importantly, do not sell your PVC or give it out to politicians for whatever amount, because if you're among those doing that, then you are a part of Nigeria's problem. Let's take more contributions from parliamentarians this morning. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Seem to still be having some network challenges, and of course, we'll have to take a pause there. Going back to our Facebook page, Parliamentarian Oyedepo, I'll come back to you. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Yeah, good morning, my brothers. Actually, well, I just have to ask us, please. You said we missed our opportunity. Two indigents of Akwa Ibom presented themselves to be the president. That is the will of God. But what is happening? There's a problem. The two of them now are now campaigning for the candidate of their party. Is that proper? That is not proper. That is not the will of God for us. Please, for God's sake. That's why I said, let us actually, wherever we've gone wrong, we ask God to forgive us as a people in this state. God is waiting for us to take over this nation, to take over our generation. But we are still playing hide and seek and trying to look for one other position locally. No. God wants us to rule.
Right.
That's
Thank
why
you very
when
much,
Bakaja
parliamentarian.
was mentioned officially, it was there already, but it was mentioned officially that many of our people, those who were to run with it, were the men of God. But many of them are fair. Many of them don't even understand what Bakaja is all about.
All right, thank you very much. One more comment. Parliamentarian Oyedepo says the People's Parliament. Good morning, parliamentarians, and happy new week to you all. I think the only rewarding way the Nigerian fallen heroes should be celebrated is by government to place their family members on life salaries. And if any of the family members have interest in joining the force, then there should be replacement. And my only advice to SSA on trade and market matters is that he should try and stop traders forcefully joining market union, because things like that also contribute a little hardship in the price of food commodities in the market. Many thanks for joining us, Parliamentarian Utorofon. Coming back to you, or Nanye Idion rather, coming back to you, Parliamentarian Utorofon, for your final take on the floor of the House this 11th plenary session.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that the issue of a market union and the price of food prices, I want to say that these things are very related with the cost of diesel and petrol, because you wouldn't expect that market woman, when it comes to the supermarket, to pick one or two things. She can't buy how she bought 1 week ago. So when the woman goes back, he now sees how to also increase. That's why you see someone that is selling water leaf, normal income, and you ask, you now say, there's no more income. You now increase the price of water leaf, and the next thing you ask, mommy, why is the price like this? Why is it small for 100 naira? The woman will tell you that it's dollars. So you start to think how dollars will affect water leaf. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that those that have been given opportunity to lead, even if you cannot change the tide, for example, where we have a PMS being sold for 300 naira, and you know that it's a national thing, at least you owe Akwa Ibom people the responsibility of going to the radio stations, newspapers, social media, and telling them the situation. Recall that when this issue of petrol came up with 300, people didn't even know what happened. We're just seeing on the road buying petrol 300 until we now realize it was NNPC not using their tank farms. They're now giving to private individuals. So government appointees, you have to tell the people what is happening so that the people don't start blaming you every time on these issues. Then, Mr. Speaker, I want to also say that that our retirees, especially those from the paramilitary, should be taken care of, and our primary school teachers and every other retirees, state government, normal civil servants, public servants, all of them should be taken care of, because they had a point in their life over 30 years that they saved the country, and in one way or the other they had created impact, so that it shouldn't be like a curse to our next generation. Then, Mr. Speaker, I also want to advise our people on PVC collection. When you get your PVC, please don't give out your PVC. And our politicians, there's nothing that we are going to use PVC for. Don't get the PVC from people. If you are with anybody's PVC, it's just very useless. You can't do anything with it. With the beavers machine, you can't use it for anything. So rather go to your units and campaign. Tell people what you are going to do. Go to your ward. Go to your local government and campaign and tell people what you are going to do. There's no need of running after PVC. Well, I know that there's a problem in Ikono right now, where people have been invited to police station and all that. So please protect your PVC, vote for your right candidate. Thank you and have a great week.
All right, thank you very much, Parliamentarian Utorofon, for joining us, and many thanks to you, Parliamentarian, for joining us on the floor of the House this 11th plenary session on radio. Big thanks to the House Leader, Remanita, and yes, to you, join us on our Facebook page. We appreciate you Let's be responsible citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Let's go get our PVCs, arm ourselves with proper information, and choose wisely in the forthcoming general election so that we can avoid making the same mistakes that we made years ago. My name is Francis Edit, and as the Speaker of this Parliament, I hereby move a motion for adjournment till tomorrow, and we'll be heating the floor running again at the 12th plenary session live on radio. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria, God bless the Akwa Ibom State, and God bless you. Goodbye.